All right, everyone, welcome back to another Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade video. Today's video, we're over here on the JJK Phantom Parade subreddit, and we have a tier list update for the Phantom Parade wiki. They also posted it over here on the subreddit, but yeah, let's just take a look at it real quick. Now, they updated this with the CHOSO and Dagon update, you know, where they've got CHOSO coming in. Dagon's also a character that showed up, but if you look at the damage tier list, oh wow, holy shit, CHOSO must be really damn good. He's up there with Awakening Gojo. He must be as good as Awakening Gojo and what is that, Sukuna? Yeah. He must be super fucking good. Well, he's also SS tier in support right there. You see him? He is as good as the top of the line support units and the top of the line damage dealing units. So someone even said, no way, Choso's that crazy. If so, I guess I'll save for him. This guy posted his turn 11 sweep. The original poster did. And he's got 30 million damage on turn 11 with 10 million damage highest per turn. As well as this Kukichi Muda is kind of there as a comparison. This Muda's got 5 dupes in him, and he's got the Pride stack, and he's got 34 million damage. But this Choso's got 30, and he's only got 1 dupe, and he doesn't have Pride. He's what the fuck? Holy shit, dude. Yeah. So suffice to say, this Choso is pretty fucking good, and I guess this kind of goes around to show the how good the green type is now, because green type units, dude, JP has been chucking out these top tier green type units the past 4 or 5 banners or so. It started out with this Awakening Gojo, right? And then we got the what's her name, Shoko, yeah, the Teen Shoko came out, and we're like, okay, damn, that's kind of crazy. But then they also, who was the last character they did? They also, hold on. Let me look. There's one more. Yeah, there's also this Kokichi Muda was good, but yeah. Then they released this Nanami, which broke up the norm a little bit. We got the green, the red in there, and then they just went right back to green. So 4 characters, the 4 past characters, 3 of them have been top of the line green units. So what the fuck, guys? Green is so stacked, it's not even funny. And we haven't even looked at what he does, because he's got kind of a crazy kit. So let's just take a look. We're going to go down the list. Deals melee combined damage of 150% taijutsu and 50% jujutsu. Inflicts 50% continuous jujutsu damage poison to the selected enemy. Yeah, that's very, very good. We love to see poison damage. That helps it. And you can see if flowing red spell stack state skill effect changes. That's going to relate to this skill too. So he's got two different modes with him. He's got his normal mode, and which is the flowing red scale, but he's got the flowing red scale stack on top of that. So with this, grants flowing red scale state for 5 cursed energy for 4 turns. Cannot be stacked. Reactivation will override turn count. Increases own taijutsu stat. Wow, and damage dealt by 30%. That is, his taijutsu's already kind of low, but that little boost is going to help him out. At the start of the turn, recovers own 5 cursed energy. Removes flowing red scale state if flowing red scale stack state is activated. Deals melee combined damage of 300% taijutsu and 100% jujutsu to the selected enemy. 2 hits and counter nullification. Increases own enemy's damage received by 25% for 4 turns, effective for green types. So what makes this good? What really puts this Gojo up here at the top of the support tier list is this. He is throwing this. This is on basically every skill he has when he's in that flowing red scale stack state. Yeah, if he's got flowing red scale stack, almost all of his skills have this. I'm not even joking. And so basically every move you're doing is just increases their damage potential by their green types. So we're going to take a look at what the moves say regularly, and then we'll take a look at what the moves are after his stack. So right now, this is still just normal flowing red scale. If flowing red scale state changed into flowing red stack, yeah. So if you hit this once, you can hit it again, which is right here. Flowing red scale stack is what happens after you use it once. So ideally, what you're going to want to be doing is just hit this once, turn 1, and then hit this again, turn 2. That's the way I understand it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way you kind of want to do, and then just start going ham with all these moves. All right, skill 3 is Slicing Exorcism. Deals 300% ranged Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy for 3 hits. Inflict 50% continuous Jujutsu damage poison to the selected enemy for 3 turns. Increases the selected enemy's damage received by 25% for 4 turns for green types. So he's getting that right there. And that, mind you, that's for skill 1. Okay, hold on. Yeah. So even when he's not in flowing red scale stack state, he still has the Slicing Exorcism for 10 curse energy, which is granting that extra damage received to the enemy. Wow, okay. And this skill changes into Supernova once he's in flowing red scale stack state. All right. His ultimate is Piercing Blood. Of course it is. Grants... Okay, so if you're not in flowing red scale stack state, this grants it to you after you use it for 6 turns. Increases own Jujutsu, Taijutsu, and damage dealt by 50%. Holy shit, dude. Decreases own damage received by 60%. You have a 40% chance of. That's still like fucking crazy. Deals 900% ranged Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy for 3 hits. Inflict 100% continuous Jujutsu damage poison to the selected enemy for 3 turns. Increases the selected enemy's damage received by 50% for 3 turns. Effective for green types. Again, there's that skill that's coming into play that's pushing him to be a top of the tier support, is this skill particular. All right, so that's his basic skills. Whenever you hit this skill 2 times, and you get into that flowing red scale, Jesus Christ, that's such a tongue twister. Flowing red scale stack state, all these moves change. So let's just take a look at what these moves change into. So right back at the top, skill 1, Blood Edge. That's still a name? Yeah, Blood Edge. Deals combined damage of 149% Taijutsu and 49%. Wait, hold on. Yeah, okay, that's a lot better. Deals melee combined damage of 300% Taijutsu and 100% Jujutsu to the selected enemy for 2 hits. Inflicts 100% continuous Jujutsu damage poison to the selected enemy for 3 turns. Increases, yeah, there it is, that same skill again, by 30% for 3 turns. Flowing Red Scale. Grant flowing red scale stack state 6 turns. Increases own Jujutsu and Taijutsu and damage dealt by 50%. That's fucking crazy. Decreases own damage received by 60%. Deals melee combined damage of 450% Taijutsu and 300% Jujutsu to the selected enemy. 3 hits. Counter nullification. Increases enemies damage received. Yeah, there it is. There's that skill again. That's what's pushing him to be a top tier support right there. Right here, for 20 curse energy, oh, that was 30. For 20, though, deals 30% Jujutsu damage to the select enemy, 3 hits, inflicts 100% continuous Jujutsu damage, poison, yada. Deals an additional 300% ranged Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy for 3 hits, inflicts 100% continuous Jujutsu damage, poison select enemy 3 turns, increases selected enemy's damage received by 50% for 3 turns, and that's for the green types. Inflict disruption effect to the select enemy for 2 turns at 100% chance. Jesus Christ, dude, did they give him enough? They're giving him poison. What the fuck, dude? I get it. They're giving him poison. They're giving him poison on like all of his skills. They're giving him this. Increases enemies' damage received for green types on every skill. He's giving him disruption. They're giving him 30% Jujutsu damage. They're giving him poison. Dude, holy shit. Ranged Jujutsu damage. Dude, he's got it all almost. He's got the chip damage. He's got the increases their damage received for enemies. Disruption. Jesus Christ. Piercing Blood, though, is 900% range Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy for 3 hits. Inflicts 100% continuous Jujutsu damage poison to the selected enemy. Basically, all of his skills are giving poison. All of his skills are giving that damage received up. Deals an additional 400% range Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, 5 hits. Inflicts 100%. Oh my god, dude. Dude, I don't think they gave him enough. Holy shit. Again, this skill right here is what makes him like a top tier support, because the rest of his allies are doing so much damage. On top of the, the poison damage, the 900% range Jujutsu damage, the fact that he's able to increase his own Jujutsu, Taijutsu, and damage dealt by 50%, all that is contributing to making him a top tier damage dealer as well. And then he's got some solid, chances of lowering damage received by 60%. Like, that just makes him a little bit more well-rounded. So, check his only auto skill is this is your older brother. At the start of the 8th turn, recovers own cursed energy by 30, regardless of the maximum energy cap. So if he's like at his max energy, does he still get an extra 30 cursed energy on top of that? That's interesting. Increases own Jujutsu stat by 30%. So, wow. Yeah, he's fucking crazy. Now, here comes the age-old question. Should you summon for his banner on Global? And, dude, let me put it this way. If you guys... Let's go up here to the characters. So, this Gojo, Awakening Gojo, is still on to be summoned for like 20, 30 days, roughly, in that ballpark estimate. If you guys pull him, congratulations. You don't need to summon on CHOSO. However, if you are even if you pulled this Shoko, congratulations. You don't need to summon for this CHOSO. However, if you are missing either one of those 2 units that just came out, by the time he does reach Global, if you want to summon for him, he is not at all a bad pickup. Dude, again, I get it. You guys know how I feel about these standard banner units. I always tell people, you guys should skip. They're going to be on the standard banner update in a little bit. However, these standard banner units are kind of slowing down. They added, they didn't even add, what's his name? Where's he at? This guy is still not on the standard banner. Just to put it in perspective, he came out before the anniversary came out, with the Zoni Dodori. He was before Zoni Dodori. So, how long is it going to take for us to get all the way up here to CHOSO? Probably a long fucking time. By the time he reaches standard banner, I don't know if he's going to be as good. So let me put it this way. He might be a must summon, depending on where your account's at. I'm obviously going to summon on him regardless, because he's just such a top tier character. But that kind of also personally depends on if I pull this Nanami, because this Nanami is a phenomenal... If that green CHOSO is a phenomenal green type support, this guy is a phenomenal red type support. So I need to fill out my red team a little bit better, and this guy I think would do it. Hopefully I get him. I'm sure I will. Hopefully I don't get too shafted, though. I've got 45,000 cubes. I can guarantee him if I need. But, obviously, I kind of want CHOSO more. It's kind of crazy. I'm actually considering skipping a limited character just for a standard character. But I've pulled both the other 2 top-tier green units. So my green is pretty okay. And I think I need to worry about the other colors, maybe possibly a little bit more. So, of course, give it like a year or something. CHOSO is going to be on the standard banner, of course. And year is not crazy far of an estimate. That's a generous estimate for him to show up on the standard banner. And then by the time he's on the standard banner, dude, the one thing about the standard banner that no one's talked about, yes, it's a good idea to skip standard banner units. But as these more top-tier standard banner units are coming out, when they do eventually reach that standard banner, the standard banner is going to have a lot of trash on there and a lot of filler. And, the chances of pulling like the newer units that come out on there is going to get lower and lower with each update. So keep that in mind, that even though he might go to standard banner at some point, you are not going to be guaranteed him later on. Whenever those units keep increasing, the pool is going to get bigger, and your chances of pulling this guy on there is going to get even lower and lower. So, you know, again, while I do think he's a great unit, should you summon on him, it entirely depends on who you've pulled for this celebration on Global, dude. If you've pulled either of these guys, you know, you might consider getting him for the other half of what you're missing, for the supporting side, or if the damage, if you're missing that Gojo, yeah, pull him. But if you have both these guys, I think you can definitely skip out on Choso and you'll be just fine. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, green is like the best hype in the game. Hopefully, we get some more yellow love. I think it's pretty funny. Dagon released with that Choso, and he is not on the tier list at all, bro. So there's a good chance he's trash, but I'll read his skills and I'll get back to you on that. So let me know what you guys think about our boy Choso. Are you guys going to be summoning on him? Personally, I probably will, but you guys let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.